Yeah, hi guys. Hannah, Brandon. This first little initiation into Atlas Wyld, we're not going to do too much other than tuning in. So we're going to go through essentially like a little meditation, if you will. If you can hear me where you're at, stay where you're at. But if you would like to come closer, I invite you to come a little closer. The intention of this meditation is to tune in and really drop into the space of being here, being at Atlas Wyld. And so that being said, I'm not going to try and shout too much. I'd like you to tune in. And yeah, so get somewhere comfortable, get somewhere receivable of this. Sweet. And as you find your spot, your little settled Bucky's chair, yeah, I'm not going to take it. Start closing the eyes on down and directing the attention central to the core, whatever that is for you. Maybe it's behind the eyes or deep in the belly. Feel the sensation of whatever your booty is on, that little feedback, that lift as you sit. And just allow the sensation of the space to really anchor you into the moment. What do you notice internally? Tensions, discomforts, pleasures? If you haven't already, I invite you to deepen the breath. And with each breath, just notice how you get more and more here. More and more willing to feel. More and more at home. If you can, just bring up a little bit of gratitude. You're here. You got here. I don't know how many footsteps it took for you to get here, but each one of them was essential. And who knows how long you've been walking the path to get here to Atlas Wyld. Was that as soon as you bought the ticket? Was that as soon as you signed up for chiropractic school? Maybe it's when you received your first adjustment. Just take a moment to acknowledge every footstep it took to get you right here, right now. In this space of appreciating your own journey, acknowledge what's to come. You're about to embark on a very silly and sincere weekend, full of play and fun and potential breakthrough moments. And in order to really receive the bigness, the medicine, whatever it is you came here for, remember there's not too much you require, nothing outside of you. The biggest need you'll access or take with you through the weekend is just the willingness to be in the unknown. To not need to know what comes next or where your hands go or what technique you're using. A weekend of artistry requires getting out of the way and seeing what's possible. And your body tells you so much more information than your mind can, especially when you're at the table. And that's what we're going to lean into in this workshop. Staying in tune with our system. And letting that be enough. Letting that be sufficient for us to be able to explore, get to know what we cannot know otherwise. And so before we get into our workshop, as you kind of have this connection within, this connection to self, I'm going to offer you 3 questions. And these questions are intentionally very hard and broad to answer, because our intention is not to have you answer them, but rather for you to watch the educated desire to answer them, the educated attachment to having the answer and not needing to feed into it. Said simply, you're staying with the question. You're staying with the curiosity, noticing what comes up as an answer, letting it be there, but not identifying with it. In this way, you leave space for something else to come up, something else to be revealed. When you're busy knowing everything, it's hard to know more. So here are your big 3 questions that I invite you to carry with you throughout the weekend. Ask them now, ask them while you're dancing, ask them at each and every seminar if you'd like. First question is why? Why are you here? Here might mean Atlas Wyld, here might mean whatever this silly existence of yours is. Why are you here? And again, notice if there's a right away answer. If you have one, I'm impressed. That's a big question to have a right away answer to. Honor what comes up and hold space for it not to be the full truth. And again, ask this again and again, all throughout your weekend and the weeks of integration to come following. Why are you here? Your next question. What is chiropractic? You might absolutely have an answer to this. You might feel really passionate about your answer. Awesome. Honor it, thank it, let it go. Stay with the question. What is chiropractic? Just notice how it feels to stay with the question, almost to stay in the unknown without an answer. Notice if it's frustrating or maybe even a little liberating. What a relief to not have to know, to not have a test. Your third and final question. Who do I have to become? Who do I have to become to deliver this chiropractic thing? To show up at the table, to own a business, to uphold these principles. Who do I have to become? Here you might notice a sensation of, am I there yet? Will I ever get there? If you can, bring the attention back to the question, who do I have to become? And trust that just being in the question is enough to instigate the becoming. Nothing interferes with becoming like thinking you're already there. So these are your 3 questions to take with you through your weekend and maybe the rest of your life, if they resonate in that way. Let them refine you, not define you. And get real good at not knowing. Get real comfortable not having an answer, yet still having the courage to ask over and over and over again. If you haven't already, feel free to open the eyes and tune back into the room. Notice all the beings around you. Appreciate their process of becoming just like you. This is going to be a really fun workshop that we're about to dive into, and I am giving you a warning now that it might be frustrating. It's going to frustrate the part of you that likes to know things, hence why we started with getting used to not knowing, not answering. And this isn't because we hate knowledge or having facts behind us, but rather we just really appreciate what comes up, what gets to be explored when the known isn't in the way of navigating. It's like removing the bumpers from your bowling alley. You're gonna gutter ball, but how else are you gonna know that the gutter is there? That the ball is that heavy and you have to throw it in that way? Then maybe you do the little, how are you gonna know? You gotta try. And so the beginner's mind is a great way to describe how we would like you to approach this little workshop. We're gonna begin in a fun little way that I will get to here in a moment because I feel like I don't want to divulge it yet, get you all rattled in case that's a thing. But with that being said, we're connecting with what we call the lower volume, which is kind of vague, but if you want to put anatomical landmarks to it, it's the base of the rib cage, the diaphragm is the roof, and the pelvic diaphragm or the floor, pelvic floor is the basement. And so this volume is what we're connecting with today and getting to know and exploring. Yeah, and with that, I'm gonna have Dr. Brandon give us a nice little intro.
Hey everybody, just taking you in for a sec. Yeah, and so just to emphasize, we're gonna be playing in a space of no rules, really. And it's really awesome, but it can be frustrating for the educated mind at times. And so if you ever have this feeling of like, I don't know what I'm doing, perfect. That's exactly where you want to be. And so one thing that I always keep in mind when I'm working with individuals is this small snippet of the philosophy of chiropractic. It's called the Triune. And it's giving acknowledgement that there's this intelligence in all things, right? But the way it animates through things, through the material, is by force. And when I was in school and I was reading this, it kind of exploded my mind. And then I remember saying a phrase of, I'll never do a tonal seminar. And now it's like the foundation of everything, of my understanding, the universe, all that stuff. And so today, we're gonna play in the, I call it the sub-bone fart range, along with the bone fart range, right? And so people like to categorize, this is osseous, this is tonal. My goal today is to have that blend together and create less of a categorization of like, oh, this is chiropractic, right? Sometimes it's a small force, sometimes it's a big force. and to guide you through this workshop, but you can use it as a little compass for life too, is this concept of rapport. And it was such a gift that was given to me. And to keep it simple, rapport is this thing that you're drawn to. You know, you may see somebody, you're like, yeah.
These girls
rapport,
right here.
Right? And so as we work, as we're in the space of I don't know, and we don't have a protocol or a box to contain us, let rapport be your GPS, because that's going to be fine-tuned and specialized for the moment. As you change on your evolutionary path, and as the person on the table you get to serve changes, it's this nice honoring of how we get to dance with one another, right? And so if this gets in the way of like, oh, where do I have to be? It's like, what do you notice? And we get to use this ancient technology in us to guide us. But yeah, enough about that. I'm ready to.
Ready?
Yeah, keep going.
All right, y'all. First, before I give you a little like taste of where we're going, look around the room, use your little rapport that we just reminded you that you have, this ability to, yes. Look for a partner, one partner. You don't have to use words, you don't have to be like, oh, come here. Just like notice what you notice. And when you break out into this practice round, if you will, this exploration round, this is your person. So now that that's in the field, let's do a little demonstration of where we're going. I want to pull this table actually this way. That's one way to do it.
Is that good?
Yeah, that's great. Here, lay on your back. All right, you guys, I know I told you to bring your pashminas. If you didn't bring your pashminas, no worries. We will have something for you, but just to show you where we're going, I won't be demonstrating this, but I'll be telling you. Our first round, you're gonna have 10 minutes each. So your partner that you're partnered with, each of you will have 10 minutes, so 20 minutes total to explore the lower volume, blindfolded. So without the use of where am I, ASIS, none of that, just purely through rapport. And I know you're thinking, what a vulnerable area to be. All right, cool, we're here. So I'm going to show you these ways in which you can support your own process of exploring without feeling totally lost. And so remember, this is the lower volume exploration, but you don't have to be limited in where you contact to just the lower volume. Starting at the feet is a great way to kind of tune into the system. And noticing what you notice just about how the system handles, let's say, a little wiggle, a little wave. Side to side, you might get different info. I definitely do. I don't know if you guys see it, but there's like a flop out and then like a pulling up into the anterior system on this side. And I'm using my eyes, you guys won't be. So how would I describe that as I just feel into it? I just feel a sense of rapport on this side. So I'm going to let that be my indicator side, the thing that pulls me up and through. So like I said, this is your range. If that feels really like, I do not have rapport there yet, start somewhere you might have rapport. Maybe you do a little superficial scan of the subtle energies, and you just land somewhere. You make contact. You let them know you're here. And from there, you have one hand that acts as your little what do we want to call that? Like an instigator of movement. So the other hand can listen. I invite you to start out with like a really light touch. You're not digging around, you're not palpating, you're just connecting. Again, still in this process of building connection and rapport. From there, once you feel like, yeah, we're here together, there's like permission, there's connection, there's relationship here, maybe that's when you start playing with maybe a deeper force. Like once you feel here, well, what would happen? I'm exploring if I got a little bit heavier. I notice his breath deepens. And what if I followed that breathing rhythm as opposed to interfering with it? What if I pulled? What if I almost did a tissue drag? And I notice it starts to vector me somewhere different. Do you guys know the difference between like a contact versus a vector, if there really is too much of a difference? Or like connection, contact, but a vector is almost like, how does this relate to another key part I'm connected to? Yeah, that'll be a nice little, where else? What else? So as you're connected somewhere, if you're vectoring, ask where? To what? What could this be related to? Another way you can play is, Dr. John calls it his crimp. You get a little crimp. So as you start to like maybe use two hands, you can squeeze. You're not digging into their psoas. As I work with people in the office all the time, it happens with Brandon too. People are like, oh, is that my psoas? No, you would know. You'd know if it was your psoas, right? But what is it you don't need to know? It's that sense of rapport. It's that knowingness you're meant to be here, but not knowing why. And so with that little crimp, you're almost bringing two areas together and feeling their little interplay. And I'm intentionally being vague here and trying not to use anatomy, because when you're blindfolded, it's like out the window, not really useful. So how can you keep that sense of yes going? And when you lose it, step away. Recenter. Notice where you're at and maybe go to a pole, the head or the foot, and then offer another contact to bring you back in. We're aware that this is a vulnerable area, so to dive right in may not feel good to you or them. Don't worry about what their experience is. It can come up, but this is about you and your exploration. If you're always worried about the other person and how they're taking in a force, are you okay? Is this okay? Is this right? Man, you're making it not okay, because now they think you don't know what you're doing, which you don't. There's a difference between not knowing what you're doing because you don't trust yourself and not knowing what you're doing because you trust yourself. Does that sound resonant? Yeah. So like I said, compress, pull, elongate, vector. Use both hands, use one hand, use a pinky. Flip over real quick. You don't have to just go into the anterior. I actually do a lot of like, let's say, anterior contacts through the posterior, through like one of these. Wow, you're sweaty. Here, lift your belly. Set it down. So it's almost like I can feel into these different interrelations, the different geometries, the posterior and the anterior in these contacts, and go slow. I'm demonstrating very fast because I have to, so that you can go slow and have plenty of time. But there is no rush, there's no destination. You'll notice we haven't even set somebody up in side posture, and that's where we will eventually go. But this is how you really get to know this volume in a way that brings up more information for you to work with in side posture, other than like, all right, it's a PI or an AS. It's like bridging these, again, what is tonal and what's osseous? Where's the separation, or really is there? Is there? All right, guys. So I'm going to leave it up to you. Have somebody face up or face down. Whoever your partner is, you're going to split up with them. And you each will have 10 minutes to explore. If you do not have a pashmina to blindfold yourself, come see me. I have, by the grace of Adam, some bandanas.
You guys
What's
need
up?
a bandana?
Please, yeah. Yep.
You need a bandana?
Rapport. Anybody need a bandana? Oh, yeah.
Do you guys need a bandana? Oh. Do you guys need a bandana?
Please. Oh, yeah. Here you go. Yes. Take it, take it.
Do you guys need a bandana? Yes. Yeah, you bet. Do you need a bandana?
We will. Yes.
Well, here.
Take
hold
it,
on
take
this
it.
way. Do you need a bandana?
Do you need a bandana?
I do.
Ooh, we might be out. You can use it,
Yeah,
please.
bet. Hey, it's all.
She was gonna find out anyway.
Did you give out all the bandanas? Okay. Does everyone have blindfold capabilities?
There's an odd number.
If there is an odd number, let me know.
Okay.
I know somebody just went to their car to grab a pashmina. Do you guys have a blindfold mechanism?
I don't.
You don't? Okay.
But I can just like.
You can wrap your shirt around your eyes? Yeah? Okay. Here's also a
You can use that
pashmina right
pashmina.
here. If you want to use it. I think it's a Wade port. All right, everybody. Whatever you need to do to get right here, right now, the foot of your table. Before you make contact, before you jump into exploration, I know you're already blindfolded, but tune in. Feel the feet on the ground. Take a nice centering breath. Kind of get comfortable with this loss of sensation, this key element to getting to know your environment. Just notice how the system hangs. And once you've gotten to know you, familiar with where you're at, you can begin to make contact. Maybe they're face up or face down, but wherever you're at, tuning in a subtle, gentle hello way, saying hello. And wherever you're contacting, maybe it's far away from our goal of exploring. Let it be a medium of tuning into the lower volume. If you're at the feet, ask, in what way can I tune into the lower volume here? Is there something to access? Something to listen to? And you have 10 minutes here to explore. In his defense, he's blindfolded.
As you start to dial in and get a sense of this rapport thing, be with it. And a fun question to hold in your space is, how can I further connect with rapport? How can I amplify this rapport? What makes it less? What makes it more?
Yeah, what shuts it down? And maybe it's not your contact, but where your attention goes. Where your thoughts are at.
And as you further get to know this rapport thing, what else is it connected to? Where else may it lead you? Are you staying in the anterior system, to the posterior, maybe somewhere in between?
Noticing a couple people using the back of their hand. I really like that. It's a nice way to feel where you are without being too pokey or invasive. It's a good way to get info, especially if you don't always use that aspect of the hands.
And with rapport, such power it brings is it brings out your artistry. You know, this is the foundation of all techniques. This is where technique comes from, is the sense of rapport. Why am I gravitated to this area on this person? And then two, some things you can play with rapport. Oh, say you got a spot, you can try elongation of the system, compression of the system, rotation, light touch, deep touch. What comes up? Flexion, extension. Do you want them to do something?
Yeah, like Brandon said, as you tune into this connection, notice if it can be amplified, not by you doing something, but them. Breathe here, move here, lift here. How can you use your words as a force? Does that feel necessary? Depending on if your person's up or down, face up or down. Maybe tune into whatever side of them is touching the table. You don't have to touch it directly, but tune in through your attention. I'm seeing a lot of people going slow. Well done.
As we're working, check in with yourself and see if you are maybe starting to run a familiar pattern in yourself, and see if you can disrupt it and do something new. Maybe palpate with the opposite hand, change the stance. And as always, if you need support, raise a hand, and Hannah and I could come over and listen.
You guys are doing great on time. You're halfway through this exploration of yours. If you feel yourself agonizing at how long you've been at this, just maybe make note.
Great work, y'all. Great work. I'm seeing some great connection work with some nice small micro movements. And I'm seeing some great connection work with some big, long movements using the limbs as levers. That's great. As you work with that area of rapport, again, what else comes up? What else becomes available? This is not an easy thing, so great job, y'all. Way to dive in. Good job. I'll give them a little time to disconnect.
Yeah, I will. Seeing a lot of really beautiful connections.
Remember, if you're in that space of, I don't know what I'm doing, you're doing it.
Congratulations.
You're in the happening.
All right, taking the next 60 seconds to finish up this work you've initiated or been in. Just as simple as stepping away, or maybe there's the question that arises, like, what would be nice? What would be a nice little ending note for this? Let that happen. Cool, Solomon. Alrighty, y'all, and when you are ready, have your partner rise, take off your blindfold, make your first eye contact moment. Switch up and down. Quickly, we will have time for integration.
Those who are down are now standing. Those who are standing are getting the blindfolds on, ready to step into that discovery mode. Good job, everybody. Good job.
All right, docs, blindfolding yourself, getting a taste of what it's like. Getting settled in
I
here.
got a kick with the glasses.
And docs,
on.
you have the same centering opportunity that your partner had with your blindfold on. Tune in. With the removal of one sense might strengthen some others. Anchor in through the
See if
feet.
that works
Really
in the
feel the
diagonal.
solidity. The solidity of your presence despite not being able to see anything. You are here and nowhere at the same time. Once you feel anchored and stable, begin to make your contact. Remember, we're diving into that exploration of the lower volume, but That doesn't mean you have to be at that anatomical location to be able to get a taste of what that area is like. Start building rapport.
When you're in the space of, I don't know what I'm doing, says educated, but something is happening, it's like, who's doing that?
Remember, go slow. There really is no rush. Already seeing some beautiful connection work. There's beauty in the simplicity. Sometimes we think grandiose things need to happen. There needs to be a pop, there needs to be a wave, there needs to be a sound in order for something to be significant. What if that weren't true entirely? Making significance in the subtleties, simplicities, slowness.
For those working, some nice things to keep in the mind is what catches your attention? How do you connect with it? Can you grow it? Can you shrink it? And then what else? You can use your hands, you can use your elbows, you can use your lower volume, your upper volume, mid volume. You can elongate something, you can squish something, rotate it, bend it laterally, forwards, backwards.
Just a little something to toss your way, but sometimes when we make a contact, we're feeling tension. That's our sense, our following thing, but instead of thinking tension, maybe think life force and how that's flowing through the system, maybe in a tension pattern. But how can you connect more to the living rather than the structure? Just notice how that shifts your touch just a little. You're a little over halfway through. Plenty of time to explore still, get to know something new. Get to unknow something old. And Brandon had mentioned this last round, but just notice when and if you fall into a pattern of yours, whether that's your pace or your sequence of contacts.
Seen a lot of great work, y'all. Way to dive in and keep going. It's great. And brave. All right, guys, and taking the next 60 seconds or so to complete your connection. You can ask, what would be nice to close this, to end the work for now? And when you feel complete, step away, take your blindfold off. Again, make your first eye contact in a while. Thank each other. And we're going to meet back in our little huddle. Can I get this?
Yeah.
Am I good to take it away?
Do you remember what you're doing?
showing the tipping point.
Just that.
Side posture stuff. I'm just gonna give it a sec. My leg.
Yeah, same. And if to spare your voice, you want me to yell, I can.
It's kind of nice. Y'all, do you mind if we borrow this table again?
Defund the IRS. That's funny. I never read his shirt.
I like
Sandy.
it. I like it. All right,
You're
y'all, we're
welcome.
gonna
Yeah.
reconvene your attention over here. Can I have your attention over here? All right, y'all. And so we did this
Sorry.
nice connective work, and not much is gonna change. Same intentions, same level of artistry, the concepts of rapport that's gonna guide us. But what we're gonna go now into is the side posture position, right? And we're gonna first explain kind of a nice foundation to get to that will aid in our exploration and how rapport wants to fine tune the volumes to best receive a force that's constructive. Does that make sense? Cool. If you need a better view, find it. All right. And so I'm tuning into the system, tuning in. Land to this side, Hanny. And so again, we're gonna wanna get to this place of the tipping point, and it's a very cool spot because as one is tipping one way, there's this little space in between, or as I jump up and I come down, that moment of not going up or going down, there's like this just mega huge place of potential. And so as we work from that space, we'll see what comes out.
Is that clear to everybody? That's what we're working towards, is this space of potential. Cool.
Nice. I'm gonna have you scoot up a little bit, Hanny.
Okay.
Did that catch you?
Yeah.
And so, as we're finding this tipping point of side posture, a good indicator to know if I'm there or not is how well the system moves all together. And so if I'm trying to go here, I'm like, am I there? Notice how there's this like disconnection. Can you see how the lower volume isn't totally with it here just yet? And so I'm like, okay, what do I have to do? Based on my rapport that I'm tuning into, I'm like, all right, okay. And then, Hanny, what I want from you is to gently pull this in towards your center. Just gently hold that. And so what I did is I gave Hannah, a little job to do, and it's just to hold some tension, and I did that based on my rapport to help find this tipping point. Now, I'm getting closer, but I still got a little work to do. See how I pull your arm towards me, Hanny? Mm-hmm. I want you to gently hold that as well. And so as I'm setting up, I'm like, wow, okay, it's starting to move all together. But what I noticed is if I let it go, it wants to just fall. And so I'm just a little bit towards my end a little bit. So I'm like, okay, what else can I do to help find that tipping point? How can I get closer to that tipping point? And so what I'm doing is just kind of rotating the pelvis, seeing what that does, and I'm playing with it. I'm exploring. I'm gonna have you hold that again, Hanny. Mm-hmm. And then what I would like to do is get a pillow, but I'll wait. And so now I'm allowing a little rotation to happen in the system while she's still holding that tension, and I feel I can make a great change with little force. And so that's a nice indication of the tipping point. Is that making sense so far? Is that making sense so far? This is our goal. Based on rapport, we're gonna pick a side, set them up in side posture, and then find this tipping point, an area of great potential, and that's it. That's all we're gonna do. And then we're gonna build on that when we come back again. Any questions?
I gotta group them.
Yeah.
Clear so far? Yes. Cool. You're a partner. You're staying with them, but you guys are partnering with another group of 2 to make 4. Does that make sense? Say that again? Uh-huh. You didn't have it clear? Do you want to explain it more?
Yeah, can you ask a question that's not clear about it?
It's just how do you know that you're there?
When you're setting up the system in side posture and you're fine tuning based on rapport, it's almost when you can move the system either back or forward with ease. Like you don't have to push a lot, and you don't have to drag the whole system, but as a unit, it can roll either back or forward relatively easily.
Brandon, do you want to show not the tipping point?
Would that help you? Yeah, cool. Can you lay on your side?
Sweet. Hey, is this from Wade?
Hey. Not the tipping point. So as I'm set up, if I have to push her back, do you see how this goes and then this goes? And how they're kind of, where'd he go? Oh, how they're disconnected? Does that make sense? I'll show you again. And so as I set up, it's almost like there's just a puddle on here and it escapes. And if I have to readjust, I have to push a lot compared to easily pull in here. Gently hold that arm there. And then, do you see how most of it travels relatively easily, just kind of moving this knee? That's what we want to try and find, or an essence of it. Yeah, does that make sense, y'all?
So like a balancing?
Yeah, totally. Cool. All right, do you want to say that partner thing again?
Yeah, so stick with your partner, but find another group. You guys are going to be a group of 4 now. We're going to have 20 minutes again, but this time, you each are going to have, obviously you'll be on 2 different tables, but 5 minutes each to play with the person to find that tipping point. You'll switch, and then you'll switch with your partner. So technically, you'll have 3 people to play with on this tipping point. That way you get mini systems. You'll find that some people it's pretty simple, and other people it's just not simple. It's very challenging. Again, this is intentionally left pretty vague. So if you need help, please raise your hand, and we will help. Any questions? Yeah?
All 4 at one table or 2 and 2?
2 tables. Yep.
Good question.
Yeah, so 2 tables between the 4 of you, but just know who you're switching between. Does that make sense? Cool. Likewise. All right, when you guys have your crew, find a crew.
Heard.
Docs, you're going to be standing.
Yeah.
Have your person leg face up to start. Okay. Face up to start. Face up to start.
With Dennis like that.
All right, docs, you can see. You can see. Start at the foot of the table and same process. Kind of tune into the system and ask about this rapport. Again, rapport is your guide here. I know it looks structural. I know it looks like there's strategy to it, but the strategy is to be determined. To be determined. Connecting to rapport, letting that be your guide. Once you feel that pull, that inclination, or just that sense of curiosity, let it show you what side's going to be down, which one's going to be up, and how to play from there. And play is the name of the game. If you got questions, if you want help, flag one of us down.
As we're working, see if you can stay in that place of discovery of like, I don't quite know what I'm doing, but I know I'm listening to something. Notice if you fall into a pattern and see if you can change it. See if you can be more in the present time consciousness.
Oh, and I was like, why would she be here? And then it was like one of those.
Just like in that
moments of,
connection work,
Anyway, I'm glad you're here.
what's my rapport? How do I better connect to it?
You got quite a bit of time to explore here. So make a mess. See what doesn't feel like the tipping point. What feels yuck or strained or hard work for both of you. Hi, Phoebe. Like I said, if you'd like some support, flag us down. And then partners, just make note of what this feels like in your system. Not necessarily time for feedback quite yet, but maybe you get to know a little bit of this tipping point. When do you feel balanced? When do you feel strained, like you're holding on? Cool. A nice indicator might be if you can walk away and they stay there. Cool.
We have 20 minutes till everyone gets a turn.
Yeah, I'm to keep a track.
Okay.
I'll let them know when to
That'd be
switch.
good. Oh, okay.
And again, it's really helpful to know what it isn't. When are they about to fall off the table, or you got to put in a lot of work? Just about one more minute with this partner. You'll flip up and down when I tell you. I know it can be real easy to think you're ready to put in a force. Try to stay in the play. Stay in the play. All right. Quickly flip up and down. Quickly flip up and down. You can give feedback later. Flip up and down. All right, Phoebe, your turn. Yeah, here you go. Little gummy bear.
Those standing, begin to drop in. Tune into yourself. Start to tune in to the person you're going to serve. Again, we're going to let rapport guide us through this. We'll be setting them up in a side posture position based on your rapport. And then in that side posture position, we'll try and find and play to discover that tipping point.
And while you are giving it your sincere attention and curiosity and desire to get it down, just remember that this is, just like at the beginning, a question to stay with. What is the tipping point? This is your first of many practices. This is the essence of being in practice.
Do your best to not know what you are doing. Let rapport guide you.
I'm seeing some really awesome demonstrations, guys. If you'd like support, call one of us over. You would like support, I got you. So, can I tell you just what I see right now? We've got the hips coming this way a bit, and then the back goes this way, or the upper volume, if you will. So how can we bring these two, without even worrying about the tip, but how can we bring more harmony to these two volumes? What comes to mind?
Maybe bringing his shoulders up.
Yeah, they could. I almost want to like, and then here, pull
Nice.
this in.
I'm seeing some
round
compress
back
the
here,
system,
round. I know that
expand the
sounds funny.
system. Way to
And
play.
in a way, we're
That's
kind of
great.
getting there. Kind of getting
Some
there. You might have to
rotation.
almost vector his leg in a bit. Yeah. And so he's engaged. This is not as passive for him as it once was. What we could even do, just for a little comfort.
At the place of the tipping point is
There,
the
yeah.
system
And so
all
as you're
one.
here,
And can you move it with ease?
We can.
Either forward or back.
if you can, let
That's
the
a
arm
nice
be heavy.
indicator to know
Yeah.
if you're somewhere around the ballpark.
Let it be heavy, yep. Yeah. So you can kind of like vector him in through here. Does that make sense? And then I kind of like that there. This will be like my own little support for him. You could use a chest pin like this. And I know it looks like a lot of work. But see here, he's still kind of tipping a little too far. So something to play with here. I'd say your foundation would be, how can we get upper and lower to talk to each other better? And then from there, bringing him to that rotation place. Does that make sense for both? Cool. Yeah, and don't be afraid to like ask him to, here, hold this here. You do this. You hold this.
I know some of us may be students, but not often are we going to spend this much time normally to set up in side posture position.
Doing okay?
So take this unique time to explore. Feel free
Find
to
a
give
way-
yourself space to do nothing and just witness, what is happening here?
Awesome work, you guys. Wrapping up here, you're going to make eye contact with your partnered group. Docs, you're going to find a new person to work on, right? How do we make this simple? If you were down, you're up, you're down. Flip up and down with your new partnered group in a way that makes sense, in a way that you all get a chance to work on somebody.
I was just down here, just working to go down. Sorry.
They're good.
You're only going to have about
Are you leaving?
5 or less minutes to demo a force application.
That's fine.
So they can do that.
Yeah.
Andrew just put his back.
All right, docs, getting centered, getting ready. New system. Probably haven't connected with them today. With a new system, there's the opportunity for a new connection. How can you accelerate this rapport process? You don't have 10 minutes with this person. And remember, y'all, it's art, it's play, it's silliness. Is this hers? Cute. Is this hers? Is this yours?
No, but we thought it was awfully cute.
It is cute. Seeing some cool stuff. Just notice what it's like to kind of work with a fresh system. Actually, it might be refreshing. A nice way to be playful. And again, if you need support, flag us down.
Way to go slow, y'all. That's great. That's great. It's not always quiet in the office.
Yep. So
See if you can
actually,
stay
what
dialed
I
into
notice
your
here
rapport.
is there's almost like this counter rotation happening. Like this side goes this way, this side goes this way. So a cool way we might be able to support this, because its hips and this are going different
Bringing
ways.
this over.
I would actually think to reposition the hips. So he's kind of on the front of this one.
Oh,
How can
so
he get more on the side? More on the
Scooch
side there.
towards.
Yeah, so tuck that hip under. Yep. And you almost want to push him back just because he already has momentum forward.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then from there, maybe pull this in. Like bring tone there as if you're pulling your belly button in. Yep. And you'll round here just a bit. The other way, like curve.
Again, finding that
Yeah,
tipping
that-
point,
Oh, yeah.
bringing them to
And
a
then from
place
there,
of
you can almost walk away.
connection globally
Yep.
and
You can-
easeful movement, either back and forth.
Yeah, man.
Cool. Does that make sense for both of you?
Yeah.
Cool.
No, it really does. It does make sense when you do it.
Totally.
Just step by step.
Yes, you have to all right, now what? It's like setting up with chopsticks, all right, you hear? You hear? All right, y'all, about another 60 seconds. 60 seconds with your new person.
Able to bring it to a nice close at 220.
Oh, okay.
Can you go
Can I
up,
do 230?
225? Because
Yes.
I want to give some people some like time on their needs right before Danny starts.
Sure, yes.
Okay,
Yep.
thank you.
Yep. All right, y'all, flipping up and down here. Flipping up and down here. All right, if this is your new person, tune in, tune in. New connection, new opportunity. them stay exactly with who they are. We won't even have them call in, but you're going to demonstrate a force application just for them.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Cool.
Mm-hmm. Huh? Oh, yes. Again, if you need support, flag us down. Seeing some cool stuff, guys. Cool stuff. Cool pants. You're looking for that space of maximum potential, a true balance point. Can you walk away? And they're secure.
Good. Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm glad you're here. We'll be done at 2:25. Yes, yes.
Are you and Brandon camping like right there?
We're right here, yes.
That's
Yes, with the...
Dude, Mike called, like, what is Joy? He's like, just try to camp by him. I was like, wow. I don't know what the fuck.
I don't know how the cars worked, but yeah. I told him, like, he can come.
That's my
Okay,
suitcase.
perfect. Yeah, you can definitely come
I'm
with
just gonna
us.
pack. We're just gonna be on the other side. Or maybe I can fit it in there, but it's no big deal.
Amazing.
He's got a car.
Okay, okay. Then he should be able to park right there. Almost. We're gonna do a force application round. Okay. Staying with it. You got another couple seconds.
How do you like it?
We love a kick. We love a
That looks
kick.
really good. Yeah, nice.
When we reconvene. All right, y'all, wrapping up here. Whomever you are with right now, this is your partner for the final round. You guys are not moving. Stay at the exact same table with the exact same person. But direct your attention towards this table. Can we use your table? All right, guys, this is going to be a quick round because we're cutting it close on time, as everybody will probably do this weekend.
Yeah. Lay down.
This is our force application round. Take it away.
All right, y'all, you can bring your attention here. And so, again, all of this builds each session. And so now you got to this beautiful tipping point. Now what I'm going to challenge you to do is to keep following rapport, and we'll get to a place of force application. My goal here is to make it a whole octave of different force applications to play with before we just go kablammy. Make sense? Land to this side, Haney. I'm going to kind of accelerate the process here. And so we get to that foundational tipping point spot, and that's a nice place to work. That's the whole process of just slowing down and really tuning in. But now, getting a sense of rapport and what we can do, we're going to move past the tipping point. I'm like, oh.
Oh, time's up. Just kidding.
Okay. And so as I'm kind of tuning in quickly here, I was like, oh, okay. And so now we're going past tipping point, bringing rotation into the system. Oh. But now I'm going to use my body. And so, a fun question we can play, like, when does the adjustment begin? When does it happen? And a nice force application is to just hang out. Some stuff we can do to increase is we can hug the table for more compression. We can give a nice wiggle, or we can oscillate as such. Annie, I'm gonna have you roll back. Does that make sense so far, y'all? Okay. What do you mean by oscillate? Yep. And so what I meant by oscillate is I'm sinking in and then I'm coming off. I'm sinking in and I'm coming off. That's what I mean by oscillate. Yeah, you bet. You bet. And again, rapport is driving us and how we want to set up. A fun thing is to change how we apply the force and how we drop. And so I notice sometimes I can get pinned up here and I'm like, oh, I gotta come here. But pull in the low belly, Hanny. Not rolling as much. Staying here, and notice the freedom I have to use all of me, and then I can apply a force from here, or my low belly from here. And we can do like a big force application, or we can connect to the system first, and then we can drop through. Are you guys seeing the different options we can play with, from the subtle forces to a big force? Cool. Is that enough to work with and play? Enough to work with and play? Cool. Go play.
Stick with your partner, stick at the table. You